Let's do it. I'm here with Ryan Groth. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're in downtown Phoenix, I guess. Here for a couple of conventions, couple of trade shows. What brings you into town?
Yeah, we're gonna pop in and win the storm, which is on this side of town. But there's a painting company, or painting contractor association rather.
PDCA.
PDCA. It's now called PCA. They changed the name. Yeah, and I spoke today on a talk, and yeah, we have some trade show time tomorrow, and building good relationships with this association feels good. So this is happening at the same time when the storm. So I wanted to come over. I'm glad you invited me to hang out with you.
Here it is, like 8:15 at night. We're getting our content in, but you got to make it happen, right?
Yeah.
So what did you talk about today in your speech, in your presentation?
Yeah, so I did a new talk. It's called Becoming and Remaining the Apex Predator in Your Market.
Ooh, sounds
intense.
Yeah, intense. That was the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, it as a competitor, whenever I started to think of myself as how do I become number one on the food chain, so to speak, I had to really ask why. Like, why did I do it? Is it about money, or is it about impact? Is it about the most reviews? And so as I've adopted that mentality, I've taken this relentlessness that I think comes with that, like primal instinct. And I think it resonates with people who want to be the best. Like, period. If you want to be the best, that resonates with you. Like, I want to be the best. And it's not just about making money, but you want to be the best version of yourself. You want to have the best company you can. And when you think like that, it really starts to open up your commitment level and your ability to change and do whatever it takes. And so I just wanted to roll it out today and see who would come. And I think all the growth-minded ones said, hey, that sounds cool. I want to be the apex predator. And so it was fun. It was like silly. I had like pictures of lions and orchid whales and Komodo dragons. It was hilarious. But no, so obviously I didn't talk about animals, but I talked about just more the mindset and addressing all the variables that create a great brand for a local company, and how creating that experience, 60% of the customer experience comes before they buy, like the sales process. So I was addressing all the variables with brand, logo, impact in the community, ways to go into more why you do what you do versus how you do it and what you do. The whole idea of like what you do, how you do it gets you more value, but why you do it creates that community level value that people want to pay more and they feel good about it and employees stay on. So I talked a ton about brand, and then creating sales animals, like just salespeople who are committed to growth and just high performing, high character type of sales professionals that represent your brand. That compounds over time, and if you address with the level of focus and remove the distractions that are all around you with shiny objects, you can become number one. And I've been around some people who are doing that and helping people do it, so it's pretty fun to be able to share that info today.
Yeah, it's like the Simon Sinek, start with why. The why, the how, and then the what, right? But you have to start with that core why.
Yeah, especially if you want to attract high performers and get high level clients, you have to go deeper, because people feel who you are, whether you realize it or not. They feel what you're about. So whether you're trucking a truck, tank top Tommy, or you do it okay with some quality, but you don't really have a soul to you. When companies have a soul to them, there's like a real connection to, whether it's Habitat for Humanity or Ronald McDonald, or when a company has a why that's beyond just like making some money, people feel it. And if you want to have a long-lasting brand that lasts like for your children, your children's children, something that's going to stand the test of time, you got to be thinking other than just yourself. Think about your community, and then in turn, again, clientele value goes up, employees stay on, people want to be a part of something. So that was just one small part of what I talked about today.
Yeah, but there's lots to unpack there. It's like more than a transactional business, which can be, like you said, shiny object, right? Going after those sales and building up your revenue and making more money personally. But there's so much more to that in building a real business that's going to be sustainable and that you can pass on to your family. So you've gotten some of this stuff, we were talking at dinner before, from your background in professional baseball, right?
Yeah.
How is that, because I'm an athlete myself, lifelong athlete, so how has that experience kind of shaped who you are and how you coach today?
Yeah, well, For me, having a chance to play professionally was the dream, right? It's like I get to do what I love, be around a high level, compete, hopefully make a lot of money and have some kind of an influence. I didn't make it all the way, but like on the way there, I started to see what I see now is in business, like the equivalent of Little League, Bad News Bears to high school team to like Division I versus Division III, like totally different levels. Junior college to Division I, and then professionally. And what I like to say is, like, if you want to have a real business that attracts people like me who wanted to be pro, what does that mean for a company? Well, an employee wants to be able to make money and like have a mortgage and like grow with you, right? Same thing. Are they going to go to a company that's facility ready, that has systems, that processes, a winning culture, has a mechanism to help them grow? I didn't go to the Division II school. I went to Division I because their facilities were better. They had a reputation of getting people picked out of the, by the draft. And so I did. I was one of 8 guys that got picked up. We had a great team. So for me, seeing sports and programs and organizations and analytics and culture and coaching and training, it's all the same to me. It's all the same.
High performance team.
High performing, high character, high performing, right? Not just a bunch of goofballs either, but like one that you're proud of everything that's happening. And I think that I just teach and impose that same type of system, that same type of mindset. It's helped me, but for me as a communicator of that, because I speak with, it's natural to talk about that stuff. It's natural to develop your tools. So for me to go through all that work and to get somewhere and then not to take that into my business felt like I was like completely disconnecting and not really building off of that. So for me, I'm just building off of it, and I'm seeing that it's the same way in business. So I want to help people create that environment where a high performer who maybe played Division I college sports can go to your roofing company and see how they can make a great life out of them, the opportunity. So, but the same things needs to be done. I went to a mom and pop concrete restoration company. It was a mess. Like there was an opportunity.
Right.
But when I got to my first was mentored by a commercial roofer in South Florida, I was like, this guy knows how to handle people like me. He's got this mapped out, and I thrived. So I'm like, I want to see other companies doing something like that for me.
Yeah, one of my favorite sayings from the Bible is that iron sharpens iron. So it's like you get around people that are just going to like make you better and help you level up, and like that's what we're doing now, hopefully, right? Like inspiring one another, motivating one another, and our clients and those that we speak to as well.
Totally, dude.
So you mentioned that 60% of people's buying decision is before they come in contact with the company. Was that it?
No, it's 60% of the customer experience happens during the sales process.
Right. There's a lot of similarities in that because you train on sales and leadership and growth and kind of the holistic building a great business. And you touch on marketing. I've heard you talk about that before. And we train on marketing. It's the same thing. It's like you can build a transactional business or you can build a real business that really means something that's going to attract those types of people that are going to help you grow. We talked to a roofing company today at the trade show, one of the bigger roofing companies in Texas, and the owner is saying, he's like, I basically spend 2 hours a week on my business. So I got leaders in place that are professionals at what they do, and he's like, I lead them and I jump in when I have to, but it's a great place to be when you can build that organization. And that's not a transactional company. That's a relation-based company like we were talking about at dinner. Now, what you talk about is maybe not, I can see some guys being like, all right, that sounds good, but like, I just want to make some money. Like, does what you talk about resonate with like the audiences that you spoke to today? Does it take people a while to kind of get on board with that and be like, oh yeah, like this guy Ryan, like he gets what I'm all about, but I just haven't been exposed to that before?
Yeah, I think deep down, everybody wants to be successful, right? And I think if you look at what success is, and you go from making 50, 60K at a company, you start your own company, and now you had the ability to live a, $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 your lifestyle, you know that if you are living an undisciplined life and you're enjoying the spoils, it's going to go pretty quickly. So hopefully they can avoid the price of tuition and like hear what I'm talking about. What's real success, man? I mean, it's doing the best with what you have, hopefully serving and impacting others and having an incredible family and carrying on some kind of a legacy. And so the people who have taken some time or made enough mistakes and taken inventory of what they really think success is, then long-term thinking, relational, sustainable, predictable business model is something that they're interested in doing, because they tried the feast or famine, people stealing from them, taking advantage of them, losing money, been behind on suppliers. I mean, hopefully they don't have to learn the hard way, but I got to see the mistakes expressed to me by some mentorship and told me what they've done after 30 years of doing it wrong. And I'm like, so I want to see people do it right and learn from what I've seen. And people who do it the right way, they have to think a little bit more long term. They can't just think short term. But if they do think long term, everybody wins. Everybody wins.
Right. And I think it takes kind of like buying into that and then seeing some of the results of that, like having that long-term focus, and then going to events like this, traveling to different parts of the country where you can interact with others who have that different like mental model or that different paradigm, that you can kind of like grab a thing here, grab a thing there, and kind of make it your own. Because if you're just kind of in your own bubble, running your business, doing the grind every day, it's hard to like step back and think about like, what am I actually doing here? What am I building? How am I running this business? Is there a better way to do this, right? So I think like coming here to events like this is a great way to just, get out of our daily grind and evaluate, why we're doing this
as
and
a
how we're
contractor,
doing it.
right?
What's that?
Are you saying us or the contractor?
Anyone. I mean, I hope to teach here, I'm speaking tomorrow a couple times, and I hope to teach some things, but I also learn a lot. And it's, you get around people that are, that are much bigger, much more experienced entrepreneurs than I am. I try to pay it forward and, like I said, teach, but, you're getting different things from people that, it's like, hey, you don't have to work 16 hours a day to be successful, which is often kind of talked about a lot in this industry. Like, oh, you just got to grind, you're not working hard enough. But then you meet people and they're like, no, you can work smarter. You can have these other things in place that enable you to create leverage beyond, just that grind, right?
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I think when somebody thinks that a lot of money is success, but they want a family, they end up depositing like 5 years of intensity on their business, leave their family aside, and then they realize that like their family's suffering because they're about to get a divorce, so they slow down their business and then they do it. And 10 years in, they finally figure out the balance, right?
Right.
So if you think long term enough before you start, like some of the most successful people in the world, like Warren Buffett's very long term thinking, and I look at him and I'm like, yeah, pay attention to guys like that. And when you do that, you can start to kind of reverse engineer what you think success is, so you're not sabotaging something that was not necessarily going to be there if you thought only the next year out.
Right.
I think when you're in a survival mode and you're scratching and clawing, you got to do what you got to do. But at the end of the day, man, like we can always make money. We can always grow. We can always find a way to, hustle and put the work in. But I think everybody just has to define success for themselves so that they can process this information. Because they could look at someone speaking and say, hey, that person is successful because they're making such and such millions of dollars. But are they actually successful people?
Right.
Yes or no? You got to determine that
Define that for yourself, for sure.
So I think it's really important when you come to an event like this not to let someone's culture of success become yours because you don't have one for yourself. Like, know why you're doing what you're doing. Know why you're in business. Like, know why you're alive. Like, know that so that now you can kind of design and architect what you want to get there versus you come here, you see somebody that you think successful because you don't know any better, and then you just sabotage everything else, and then you're just like trying to keep it together.
Right.
I don't know if that's relevant to what.
Yeah, it's got to be sustainable. Like I believe, like how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? So if you're disciplined with your health and your fitness and your wellness, then you're going to be disciplined in your business. Now, obviously, there are exceptions, but it's about having all those areas of your business dialed in, and not, so you're not burning out, and so you're not focusing too much on one thing and neglecting your family, neglecting your health, and all that. So
it's huge.
It's huge, and that's what I want to. We were talking about this before we hit record. Like that's what I want to focus more on. Is not just helping roofing companies, helping companies market their business better and get better customers, but how can marketing help them create better businesses and in turn create better lives and better legacies. And I think we're, very much aligned in what we hope to accomplish. It's not just like, you want to help people make more sales. I want to help people run Facebook ads. Like, it's much broader than that. It's like, how can that make a better business and a better life? So,
yeah. I'm curious how you try to keep that all together. I mean, you're on the road quite a bit. You're an entrepreneur. You're getting this thing off the ground. I'm curious how you have been able to have that better life, if that's what you want to help other companies do that you're working with. Like, what are some things that you're doing, like, on that level?
For me, it all comes down to daily habits. Like, that's it. I'm a big fan of, like, doing the fundamentals consistently day in and day out, and whether you feel like it or not, having those disciplines. So whether I'm traveling or not, it's like always, like, I have my morning routine. It's meditation, it's working out, it's hydrating. It's trying to eat well, which is not always easy on the road when you're going out to dinners and all that stuff, but not going out and partying, waking up early, checking in with family, and then those sorts of things, reviewing my goals every day. So those are a few things that I do that just ground me. And I know, like, when I am traveling and if I start to get away from those things, or get busy, or I'm like, I don't have time to work out, then I can feel myself sort of slipping off track there. And I know the formula that helps me win the day.
Yeah.
And of course, we're human, like, we don't always follow it, but if I follow that formula, it's not guaranteed I'm always going to win, but like that sets me up for the day. So
sweet, man.
To me, it's all about daily habits.
Love
and about being intentional, like coming to an event, like going on the road, going to an event, and knowing that, like, okay, I'm going to plan my workouts. I'm going to wake up early and work out. I'm not going to get on that limo party bus that's going downtown and staying out all night, because those opportunities are all around us, right? And it's just
the question: have you found that your business has not suffered because you're not doing those social outings? Or do you feel like do you feel like it affects your business by not following that kind of crowd in that way? I guess.
I do that once in a while. I've been there, done that. I'm not, everyone's doing their own thing, but I mean, I'm here to, you work a trade show like this or conference, like you're, breakfast at 7 a.m., you're all day talking, you're speaking, you're doing different things. Like, it takes a lot of energy.
Totally.
So
you got to sleep sometime.
Yeah. I just know that, like, hey, if I'm across the country away from my family, then I am going to make the absolute most out of it. And I'm not going to go screwing around and, like, partying and all that. So, like, my family deserves that. If I'm going to be away, it's a big deal. Like, it's not just like, oh, I'm just going to go across country to check out this event. It's like, no, it's a big deal.
Yeah,
and I want to get a personal ROI. I want to get a business ROI. And I want to, try to impact and inspire others, which is why we're doing this content here at 9 o'clock at night.
I like your intentionality on that. It's good.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And then, the ways that we slip up, whether it's in sports or business, is when we're being reactionary and not intentional and proactive, right?
Yeah.
So
definitely. Definitely.
So, sales leader, it's been awesome. So what's next? I hear you got a big move coming up.
Yeah, we're moving to Hawaii in May. So
our next video should be in Hawaii.
Yeah, we're gonna do an annual event there, so people will be coming my way.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's gonna be good, man. Starting this company a couple years ago, got I think we just got our 100th company on board.
Nice.
And been able to just get them on through online learning and coaching and training. So that vehicle has been able to free me up to think about living other places, which wasn't something we always wanted. We live in South Florida. We live in a nice spot. But as I said, hey, Lindsay, this is your time. Like, I've had some time to figure myself out. I'm really grateful for that. What is it that's on your heart, on your mind? And so that took a lot of guts, because I could easily have just been like, here's what I need to grow my business. Here's what I need to, but to see her express Hawaii, I'm like, you kidding me, right? Like, we're not moving to Hawaii. Like, I can't do that. I got to be on a plane. I got to go see another show. And this is how we're growing our business. But when I realized that was like more fear speaking than like depositing it in my family, and I was like, I think there's something to this. Let's go on a trip. So we did 2 weeks, and dude, I saw her light up like a Christmas tree. I'm like, this is a version of you I want to see all the time, because she was just so happy. And so we talked about how we can do it, and hopefully we're doing it. So we're renting our house out in Florida, and we're going to rent out a place in Maui, and we'll see where it goes. You know, we'll see if we're gonna buy there and make that permanent, or if it's just a couple of year adventure. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I know we're gonna surf and we're gonna hike and we're going to enjoy the chapter for sure.
That is awesome. Very exciting. Good stuff. Well, let you get out of here. I know you got to head across town. Get ready for a big day tomorrow, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Likewise. So awesome to have you. I'm glad we were able to catch up. Thanks so much for coming out.
Yeah, thank you, and good job on all you're doing and the value you're bringing consistently. I think
likewise.
I think it's huge. So
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.